ready to eat.
I like it rough. Double touch my hot bubbles. Show me what you got.
Saddle up, let's ride. Welcome to Hot Pot Potty Podcast. I'm Jen Tatro, one of your hosts, and this is Brooke Holman. Today, folks, we're bringing you two hard-working women from the string section. First, we have Ariele Macadangdang, a violin player that studied and got her degree at Frost School of Music in Miami. Now, she has played in bands like Flobots, Kygo, and Disturbed. She is currently in the Colorado Bluegrass Trio band, Salomé Songbird. She is joined here by friend Kari Clifton, a cello player who studied and got her degree at Metro State University of Denver for music. She has played with bands Evanescence, Disturbed, and Pretty Lights. She is currently in the Colorado band Deborah Solo Trio. Give it up!
Yay, thank you.
We've got control of the sounds.
I sure do.
That's probably good. I used way too much air horn the last time. It's like, oh, keep me away from that. Right.
Well, let's start by this. You've both played in the band Disturbed, and can you tell me a little bit about what kind of rush you guys got from that?
Yeah, so I think we played on different concerts, actually, because they will hire string players to play specifically on the song Sound of Silence. And so Kari did it a few years before I did, I believe. So I will only speak to my experience, but I did get a rush. I was not previously a fan until I joined them on stage, and I felt the energy exchange with the audience. It was incredible. And of course, as musicians, performing musicians, we feel that anytime we perform, there's an exchange with the audience.
Yeah.
But with them, it was like crazy. It was like the singers, the passion behind all the lyrics, and then the people at, I think it was Denver Ballerina that I did it. It was incredible. So I walked away and I was a fan. And also the pyro behind us was crazy. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a wall of fire.
Wait.
I don't know
Tell
all
me
the
more
technical-
about that.
Yeah, it was very hot.
The ring of fire.
I was a little bit nervous because I had my nice, acoustic violin, and I was like kind of looking back. So I'm sure there's like a fan video out there of me being like, oh God.
How close were you to this wall of fire?
The wall of fire, it wasn't very close, actually. I would say at least 30 feet, but it felt like it was closer.
Oh, I'm sure you'd feel the heat from that.
That's hot. That's hell degrees. Did you think you were going to get burnt up?
Not really, because I did play a show with a different group later that had like a pillar of fire that was even closer. And then I did feel like I was gonna.
Music and fire just going together so well.
Yeah, now we want to hear your experience.
Yeah. So I did play, same story almost. Sound of Silence. We were there for one song. They usually hire a violinist and a cellist. And I think when I played it, it was still the Pepsi Center. So I don't remember exactly when it was. We did not have a wall of fire, so I'm a little bit jealous of that. But yeah, it really was quite an awesome experience because the show that we played on, the singer was like in the middle of this really nasty cold or flu, and was just, I was like, oh, I'm not doing so well, so I don't know if I'll be able to bring it. And then just proceeds to just slay and do an amazing job. And so, yeah, it really was amazing to be in that same space. And it goes by so fast because it's just, I don't know, there's nothing like being in music, in a live performance like that with so much energy.
Thank you both for sharing. So there's a little bit more of a rush that happens playing in a band like that than playing a bluegrass set.
I think it depends on the context of whatever song you're playing and then who's in the audience for that. I've been to some bluegrass concerts where people are like screaming and dancing and like doing circles and doing all kinds of wild things. But I mean, the Denver Ballerina is huge. So I've never been to a stadium bluegrass concert, although I know there are some bluegrass musicians who are starting to play stadiums again, which is pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious. So to get on stage at somewhere like Ball Arena, right? How many thousands of people can fit into that place? I don't know. It's like probably one of the biggest venues besides like the Broncos Stadium, I think, in Colorado. How were you able to play? You said one song. Did you have to audition or apply, or did they reach out to you? I'm just so curious that process.
Yeah, I think it was the same process for both of us. There's usually a handful of contractors who will get the call, and usually it's their job to just place string players for specific events. So they're usually thinking about people who've had similar experiences before and who have worked with in-ears and who aren't gonna, freak out on stage with that kind of pressure. But yeah, it's usually it's kind of who you know. And so I think we were both lucky enough to know the same contractor at different times and got the call, which is always just really exciting. So yeah.
That's great. Fabulous. Ariel, I know that Salomé Songbird has a new song out, and it's called Trip. That's its title. It just dropped. So if you're on your social sites, go check out that song, Trip. I played it over and over. It stuck in my head. I had that dun 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 dun. Dun. It was just going over and over in my head at work.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, so an earworm, would you say? Is that what?
An earworm, yeah.
Oh, thanks for listening.
Yeah, I want to know who produced it, where it was recorded, and who mixed it.
Yeah, so Trip was a collaboration, and there were a lot of people involved, so I'm going to try and mention everybody. So it was co-produced by a good friend of ours named Amanda Bate, and she's a sound engineer who's done live sound for my band, Salomé Songbird, in the past, and she and I went to school at Frost. And so she was co-producing it with Jim Eno, who's the drummer for that group, Spoon.
Okay.
And he runs this project called Project Traction, which is a nonprofit that gives women and gender expansive folks an opportunity to sit behind the producer's board. And so it started in... Yeah. No apologies.
Project Traction.
Yeah, Project Traction. Check it out. It started in Austin, Texas, and recently Jim expanded it to Colorado. Okay. And so our band was one of the first, or among the first crop of that project out here. And so it was co-produced by Amanda and Jim. Mark Anderson recorded it. He's done a lot of stuff for Nathaniel Rateliff, I believe. So it was such a delight to work with him. He's such a great person and really professional. What was your other question?
I said, who produced it? Where was it recorded? And who mixed it?
Okay, so I don't remember the name of the studio right now. I should probably look that up later, but it ended up being in someone's house actually, and they had built their own studio in the basement, and it was incredible. I would have no idea that they had that kind of room down there. But Jim flew out, and we had Mark join us in that studio. I believe Jim mixed it, and there was another person involved in the mixing process that I can't remember their name, but yes,
I love
almost everybody.
Basement studios. The place that we recorded, they had it was a basement studio, and he had one of the biggest soundboards in Colorado or something. It was 20 feet long. It was insane, or maybe more. I'm not sure.
Shout out to Pete DeBoer at World Famous Studios. Woo! That's who that is. And then I just wanted to say that song sounds incredible. Yeah, you can tell it was done intentionally, and you can tell it was produced really well and mixed really well, mastered really well. So go check out the song Trip by Salomé Songbird on all your streaming sites.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I did want to mention that a lot of the production was performed live by Amanda. So some of it was, synth sounds that she plugged in, but there's an instrument called the Moog Taurus, and it's a sort of like a synth bass, and she played it with her feet.
Oh, wow.
And I wish I had a picture to show you. I should have brought it up, but yeah, it was incredible. Like, she brought it out in the studio, and we were all just like fixated on the bass line that she chose. It was one of my favorite moments of recording it. Yeah. And also Trip was written by my good friend and bandmate, Joy Adams.
Okay, shout out to Joy Adams.
Yes.
I actually met Joy Adams because we needed someone to play cello on our album Push. And she was the one that everyone unanimously said, call Joy Adams, call Joy Adams. And so I did, and she did, and she's fabulous, super professional, came in, knocked it out of the park. And then that's how I met you. So full circle, give it up for Joy Adams.
Yes.
Snappies. So I'm curious, how did y'all meet each other?
Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I was just thinking about this. I couldn't remember the exact year, but we met on playing on a wedding gig in Carbondale. So I think it was like ceremony and cocktail hour. I think it was chili, classic Colorado wedding. But yeah, we both do, we're working string ladies. So summers are usually busier. We do a fair amount of weddings, and we do a fair amount of weddings for different people, and we just happened to be on the same one. And it was like, well, that was cool. She seemed cool. And then I think we, from there, probably played a couple more weddings and just got along really well. And so, yeah, now we hang out like as people, which is fun. Not just musicians. We're friends. Yeah, we're friends now.
And are you both full-time musicians?
Yes. And
Okay.
I will say, I think
That's amazing.
Thank you. I do think
give it up.
I will say I wear many hats. I do have a part-time job at a music school, but it's all music related. So I'm doing more things that are putting kids into different chamber music groups, and it's you need the musical knowledge to do that work. And there's always lots of behind the scenes in any music endeavor. So, but yeah, all music, which is
That's
a whole thing.
That's incredible, and that's so hard to do, to make ends meet. So I want to give it up to you ladies for being the hard-working string section.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and Kari, I had a question. Can you tell me a little bit about the Deborah Solo Trio?
I would love to, Jen. Yes, the Deborah Solo Trio is a band that I play in with my great friends, Deborah Solo and Chadzilla Johnson. And I know, you have to meet him to believe it. He's the only one who could pull that name off. He's also the only cool Chad I know. It makes sense, right?
That
There's
makes sense.
only one. There's only one.
Makes a lot of sense.
It does, yeah. So the band started out mostly as Deborah's project a while ago, and it's morphed into this really collaborative band, and we write all of our music together now. And a lot of times when we're writing, we kind of go into like group therapy. We're just like really expressing ourselves, and we have a lot of shared emotion, shared experiences. Deborah is a singer songwriter. She's also an author, and so she's a wordsmith and is really great at kind of taking whatever emotions Chad and I just kind of word vomit at her and making them into beautiful stories. So yeah, we are a band of cello, guitar, drums, and our drummer also happens to play keyboard and bass at the same time, and we have 3-part harmonies.
Oh, wow. That's fabulous. Now, to follow that up, can you tell me a little about Salomé Songbird? Sorry about that. Salomé Songbird.
Thank you. Yeah. I will say that I've seen Deborah Solo Trio play a lot, and they're fantastic. It's incredible what they can do, and yes, you should go and see them. So my band is called Salomé Songbird. It's essentially a string band. So I play violin. My husband, Brian Dubrow, he plays guitar, and then Joy Adams is the third member, and she plays cello, mandolin, banjo. and sometimes other instruments, if you can believe it. So the input list can be a little bit long sometimes, but it's one of my favorite projects to play with. Joy and I are the main songwriters for the band, and then all of us sing and do harmonies.
Wow. I have seen you guys live. I came to one of your shows in Longmont. I loved that show. It was outdoors. Yeah, absolutely. I bought a little shirt, has a jellyfish on it.
Me too. Different show, but same shirt.
I'm glad we are rocking the same shirt. What I recently did is I took all my band shirts that I bought, all the merch shirts that I bought, and I cut all the sleeves off. So this summer I'm going to be rocking some muscle tees.
Yes.
And one's going to be Salomé Songbird.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Represent. Gym. So I'm curious, what's the difference between the music scene you say, because you were in Miami when you started, right? Between
Correct.
like Miami or Florida in general versus Colorado?
Ooh, that's such an interesting question. Well, I will say to start off, they're both incredibly eclectic. The main difference I notice, at least with the wedding scene, is that the seasons are opposite. And so in Miami, the busy season is the winter months, or what we would consider the winter months out here. And then here, the summer months are busier. So one could theoretically do the two city, just go between the two and work all year if you only wanted to do weddings. But aside from that, Miami definitely has the Latin American pop scene and all the other kinds of, I mean, there's a big jazz scene too down there that I think people who haven't lived there before are a little bit surprised to hear, but it's bumping down there. A lot of pop music, not as much bluegrass. And so when Brian and I started to do duo projects, and when Joy and I were playing our songs down there, it was a little tricky to find, venues and scenes and the community around it. And then when we moved out here, it was a little easier to find those connections because bluegrass is so big out here. There's more like folky sort of scenes and a lot of songwriters who are doing the same kind of thing that we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, Colorado loves their bluegrass, I would say.
Yeah, give it up. Colorado bluegrass. Whoop, whoop. So then, how did you and Joy meet? Did you meet in Miami, and are you both from there? And then you just decided you're gonna create this band, and then you ended up moving here.
Yeah, it was. We met at Frost School of Music at University of Miami, and initially we were playing classical music together in the school ensembles, so the orchestra and what have you. So we were both doing our post-grad degrees, and we had formed a classical string quartet called The Wild. I wish we were still playing together, but it was a great time. Loved that quartet. And then that sort of led to us playing our original songs together.
Yes.
I think I needed a person to join me for some random cafe set, and it was just like background music, but I was playing my originals. And I was like, who else could join me? Oh, Joy writes songs. Let me get her to help carry this 20-minute set. And so I think the rest is history because it just sort of snowballed into the project that we have today together.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
Y'all wear like so many hats. You're playing for these big bands, kind of on like one-off shows at like Ballerina. You're teaching music. You're writing your own songs. You're playing weddings. Is there? How do you? I guess I don't know. How do you organize that? Or I'm just curious because that's a lot. That's
Busy schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing that jumped into my mind was I don't. I just feel perpetually behind because it is a lot. It's so much. And I think it also takes a lot of brain energy to switch tasks. So I think sometimes I'll find myself spending more time in one area and then other things kind of fall by the wayside. And then I guess it's maybe different seasons is the best way to think about it. But for me, it's literally just day by day, week by week. So I try to take a look at the week ahead and try to budget my time as best I can. But it really is just every day is different. But I think both Ariele and I are kind of lucky because we both married guitar players who are also both in the music world. And so they get the whole just no schedule, basically. They're understanding of that. And we kind of just tackle the world in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, they understand the grind.
It's exciting. Flowing with the seasons. I like that.
What's the most annoying thing that comes with touring for you both, traveling around as a musician?
Okay, I guess I'll go.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, I mean, traveling, I feel, can be stressful no matter what reason you're doing it for. Even on vacation, it could be stressful, right? Yes. And it tends to bring out, unfortunately, the worst parts of people when you're tired. So I would say personally, I just wasn't sleeping at all on the road for these short runs with this band. And I know you can expect poor sleep in general when you're touring, but for me it was like 0 minutes, and that is not good. So that's been the most annoying thing for me because it changes everything, and it's just harder to deal with like the little accumulating things that you have to fix on the go. And so I'm working on that. I'm working on figuring out how to sleep when I'm touring.
I recommend Owl melatonin gummies.
Okay.
I recently found those, and those work wonders. So, Owl melatonin gummies, sponsor us.
Sponsor us. $25. That's about it.
And then I wanted to ask a follow-up. So I know that Salomé Songbird has a tour coming up. Can you chat a little bit about that? I see you have a date at Carbondale 5-7, Del Norte 5-8, and Salida 5-9.
Yeah, so the Carbondale show is going to be a house concert, and if you are interested, we can send you that info. We have a mailing list, so that's SALOME, songbird@gmail.com. We're also on social media if you want to get the details for the house concert in Carbondale. The following day, May 8th, I believe, is in Del Norte at the Trade Post or the Trading Post.
Okay.
And then after that, Salida, the venue is A Church. We've been there before, so I should know.
I love Salida.
We will be returning to that venue.
Nice. Okay, and then could you share a little bit about your touring experience and if it affects you?
Yeah. I will say I've had much shorter and maybe fewer touring stints, but I think the one that comes into mind, I used to play in a band called Richie Allen and the Bad Ideas, and we were a rock band, and I kind of functioned as the lead guitar player on cello. But I think for similarly to Ariele, it's like just sleeping on the road is tricky. And then sometimes it's just knowing how to get along with the people you are stuck with. So it wasn't bad, but there was one year where we just, my nerves were getting a little bit worn down by a particular person, and they didn't stay in the band. So it really wasn't that bad. I just, when you're stuck with people the whole time, you don't get space to yourself. And I think, you learn about yourself, you learn about other people, you learn about yourself. I find I need alone time. I need space. Yeah. And so, if I, could go back and do that, I would just maybe even tell people, I need some alone time, and figure out how to build it in. Because you got to try to keep your peace because there's a lot of changes going on. And so, trying to figure out how to keep find your peace and keep some sort of solitude so that you can function well. But yeah, there's all the variables make it difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
AirPods and a face mask or something. Headphones.
A sign that says "Do not disturb" around your neck. I need my peace for just one moment.
Played with Disturbed.
Out of office.
So y'all have been playing for a while now. And I assume at some point, you were pretty new to it, and maybe, I don't know, you were maybe nervous playing in front of people, to whereas now you're playing on these huge stages. Could you explain what was the process of how to kind of feel calm with that big of an audience or like that many eyes on you, on a stage?
That's a big question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I will say when I'm joining other people's projects on stage, I feel the pressure much differently because people aren't there to see me specifically, except for my couple of friends and my dad or whatever, So I also try to remember that as a string player, I think we kind of have a pass because people are usually very excited to see string players, and you just play big, long whole notes, and they think it's incredible. So I try to get out of my head and into what the audience might be experiencing. Yes. And I try to just kind of because if I think about it too much, it's going to become this whole big thing. Mm-hmm. But if I'm try to have a different outlook, that can calm me down a lot. The other thing that I love is I learned that your body kind of goes through similar feelings when you're nervous versus excited. And so I just tell myself, I'm really excited right now. I'm very excited. I'm feeling it all in my body. I'm so excited. And I take slow breaths in, even slower breaths out. And that's my best hack. It helps a lot.
I like that. Thank you for sharing that hack.
What about for...
I mean, I remember Kari you shared that with me a while ago because, to this day, I still struggle with some nerves, especially if it's my own music, if I'm singing lyrics about something that I'm being vulnerable on stage about. So Salomé Songbird shows, I will tell you, there are some days where I'm like, I just don't want to be vulnerable today. I'm so nervous. And then I feel better afterwards because there's been this connection and... but I will echo what you were saying. Being a string player, playing a supporting role, it's a little bit more of a detachment with, my identity in the performance. So it's a little easier to get through that. And I've been using that trick a lot, actually. The feeling of excitement, just kind of trying to convince myself I'm excited and I'm nervous, but I'm going to focus on the excited part. And I've also been using the phrase, my body knows how to move, even if it feels off. And that's been working really well for me recently.
I wanted to say I shared with Brooke the Moon song, and we both love that song, and your voice is really present in that song, and I love it.
Thank
you.
So
great job on that tune.
Thank you.
Yes. I think it might be a full moon today. I'm not sure. So
is it today?
I don't know. I didn't check, but I just noticed it was very big yesterday. So I assume it's somewhere near that. That
close.
Looks full, but yeah.
Let's shift gears here for a moment. We're still going to be talking about some bluegrass. Do you guys ever play at the Walnut Valley Bluegrass Festival, or do you plan on playing there?
Oh, I don't know if it's on our radar, but I will put it on there because, I will say the project itself is bluegrass adjacent. So Brian and Joy are active in the bluegrass scene, very active. And I would say ours is more like folky, songwriter, introspective. And so we definitely fit into it, but I don't know if we would be like the first call for like a barn burner experience. But yes, thank you for mentioning it. I'll definitely put that on the list.
Put that on your list because That's right in my backyard. So I was raised in Winfield, Kansas. Shout out to Winfield, Kansas and Walnut Valley Bluegrass Festival. My dad goes there every year. So if you guys show up there, if you ever play there, we will go watch your set. We'll follow you around for your whole schedule.
Nice. Thank you.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely.
So do you mostly play pieces that you have memorized or reading music, or do you ever do like improvisations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes to all the above.
Okay,
I kind
everything.
of short circuited. I was like, yes. It depends. Sorry. It depends on the gig. Weddings are almost always reading music. I think probably in our bands we have that all memorized. I love improvising, and I like to say that I'm not a jazz improviser. I did study some jazz, but I'm not going to be playing any bebop on the cello. But yeah, one of my favorite gigs that I used to play and do every now and then, there's a church in Denver who does this evening service called The Wilderness. And it's kind of supposed to be a church service for people who don't like church. It's very open. They're super welcoming. And half of the music is improvised because the whole idea is for us to create a soundscape for people to connect to whatever God is. And so I super love it because there's no script. It's just maybe pick a key, but also maybe not. And it'll be cello, piano, percussion, and sometimes guitar. And we just create a little soundscape that happens just for that moment. It's my favorite thing.
It's just feeling it and kind of like communicating without words in a way.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
And, just to follow that up, because you teach kids, I was wondering how you teach about improvisation and how to do that.
Yeah, that's a good question, and there's a couple different approaches. Really depends on the student, but usually I like to find a song that they like. So recently, I'm working with a student on the song "Sparks" by Coldplay, and
I love that song.
I know, it's so good. It's so good. So we find a way that works to play it on the cello. We play it as a duo, and at the end, he's just improvising while I'm keeping time. And I usually just tell him, like, okay, this is the key we're in. These are the notes that are definitely going to work. And if you want to feel even like more confident about it, these are the notes that work in these two different chords. And we're just going back between two different chords. Nice. So I give him a boundary, and it's like, just stay within that and see what happens. And maybe try playing really high, maybe try playing really low. And we take little bite sizes, especially because a lot of younger students don't always know a whole lot about theory. So sometimes it's based on playing by ear only. And sometimes I try to be like, well, here's why it works. But they don't always want to know why it works. So
Just like,
it sounds good.
yeah,
I just want it to sound good. Yeah.
bite sizes. Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about Cellists for Change?
Yes. Yeah. Cellists for Change is a small nonprofit. We've been around for about 6 years, and it's very cello oriented, as you may have guessed. But it's a small nonprofit based in Boulder. It was founded by Psyche Duncase, who is a
Love her.
Yes. Yay! I love it.
She told me about Joy Adams.
That's so cool. It is a small world.
Circles back.
So small. But she just felt like she wanted to do more to share cello in particular with kids who might not have access to lessons or instruments, and to create more current modern cello repertoire from composers who are underrepresented. So she just had the idea and asked a handful of people if they would join her, and here we are. So we have a few different areas of focus. One is youth scholarships, which sounds like what it is.
Youth scholarships.
So some kids get to have cello lessons they might not have been able to otherwise. Sometimes we are able to also pay for their cello rentals. We also have a branch that is called Music Transcends Borders, where we fund some projects and students in a music school in Huehuetenango, Guatemala.
Wow.
It's very
That is
cool.
very cool.
And then we commission composers to write new works. So that can be anything from women, people of color, neurodivergent people. And I feel it almost feels like cheating because I am one of the composers that has been commissioned by this by Cellists for Change. But yeah, that's what we do. And we have our current project is working on an album. We've commissioned enough works to make a whole album. And so we recorded late last year, and myself and my husband are currently working on mixing it, and it comes out March 9th.
Look for that. I mean, give it up.
Yeah. Where's that air horn?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Could you share with us a little bit about Sister Carmen, Ariel?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
This is where you wanted to donate to.
I chose Sister Carmen Community Center. It's a nonprofit family resource center, and I think they do a fantastic job of helping folks with direct needs like food and financial assistance. They serve primarily families in Erie, Lafayette here, Louisville, and Superior. But they also have classes, leadership classes and financial literacy classes. And so they also have this amazing thrift store where I found one of my favorite sweaters for $2. And
Don't threaten us
that
with a
felt
good time.
really good. Right here in Lafayette.
Woo! Give it up for Sister Carmen and Cellists for Change. Well, we want to say thank you both so much for joining us today on Hot Pot Potty Podcast. I'm Jen Tatro. This is your host, Brooke Holman. And thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.